Hey, welcome, Logan.
Hey,
Logan Lewis.
On our short list of return guests.
A two-parter.
Yeah,
A two-parter. How you been?
been pretty good. It's been a lot of work this year.
Yeah.
a little hectic.
Yes. So just give us a quick reminder of all of your titles. Because as you're talking about this stuff, I'm like, how do you have like 8 full-time jobs?
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of different little things that we do. But my only title really is executive director at Red River Revel, and we're fortunate that we have a lot of great volunteers that help us do all the things that we do. But, you know, our big things, obviously, the festival in the fall. And then we also manage the Shreveport Farmers Market. We have a couple of fundraising events help us bridge the gap more for cash flow purposes in Cork and the Bourbon and Barbecue Festival. And those are the main things that we focus on. And it occupies a lot of time. We have two staff members that work full time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a lot to manage for just 2 people. We have a lot of, like I said, a lot of really good volunteers that come in a lot and help us out. And they're more than just, you know, your average volunteer. They're like stakeholders. They're people, community members that help drive the bus, you know, and that's how we started. You know, it started just with only community members putting it together, coming together to create a gift for the city in the region. And, you know, the staff came later, but it's always been just more, we're facilitators. They're the ones that drive it, right?
I've seen the Twin Blend guys post some like archive videos of the early Red River Revels, and it's pretty funny. It's like,
we've got a lot of that stuff right now is in our office. We have a great collection at the Knoll Memorial Archives at LSUS. So it's all checked out right now, and we're putting it in an exhibit that opens on August 22nd at Art Space. And so we have like, you know, all the original photos. And if you follow our social media page, I mean, this year we've been doing like kind of a look back, 50 years of Revel, and I've been posting pictures from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. It's been a fun trip down memory lane. There's a lot, you know, of community wrapped up in that.
Yeah. It's crazy to think of how much like risk. It's just crazy because like even when I was in high school and we would go to the concert, it would be like on the riverfront. Like any of us could just go and fall in the river. Like there was nothing. There's nothing.
That's all right.
There's nothing. You watch those old videos. It's like just people made like they were having these parades and like people just made stuff and you just show up. It's like nothing really governing it. You know.
You sound like an insurance agent who now understands that the social agreement or construct that we had at one time is not the same anymore. Like everybody kind of watch out for one another. Now it's like, oh, look at that guy, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, it has been a kind of a wild ride for the festival for 50 years now, and we're poised to celebrate it in a big way. And I think that the perspective of this look back that we've been doing and curating this show that's coming up is has been really eye-opening for me to see, and it's kind of given me a lot of perspective on what my role is. Like I mentioned before, I'm just a facilitator. This whole thing is volunteer and vendor-led, same way that the farmers market is. There's no moxie that the manager or the director or whoever is going to put onto an event like that and create culture. It's the vendors, the farmers market vendors that create the culture in the same way that the artists, the musicians, the organizers, the committee that puts the festival together, they really set the tone and the culture. And we just help facilitate that and kind of sort of manage and keep the plate spinning, if you will. Yeah. And so that's really what I've learned is that, you know, the contributions that this organization has made to the community over the years has really been more of a community effort. You know, it's not just one person, you know, one director. We don't have all the answers, right? So it's cool.
It'd be easy to get that backwards, I bet. Right?
Yeah.
It would be pretty easy to get that like the other way around.
There are those that have, you know.
But, well, it's you as in that position, you have to know your role, right? And so, like I've seen, and I'm affiliated with, you know, nonprofits or community-driven things that get the wrong director in place, and then they flip it. And they're like, well, I'm the boss. The board works for me.
But to be fair, like you can have success that way. I mean, there are very intelligent people out there But that's kind of how you have like the pyramid flipped upside down sometimes, and you see that in organizations like that they struggle when that director leaves, because everything was centered around the person. The personality was the central driving force, and you can't recreate that in another person. So whoever comes after them is going to struggle, and that's a common thing that happens. I think it makes it difficult for succession, but for us, we really try to focus on all of our people, because some of that is that I don't have all the answers. I can't do everything myself. I have a lot of people that I lean on for good advice that complement the strengths that I might have as a leader.
Yeah. Well, that's we talk about business and leadership on the pod a lot. I think that just hearing that come out of your mouth makes me go, I think that's some humility in the way that you're leading the organization. You're kind of saying, hey, look, it's not all about me. I've got a great team. I'm a facilitator. I'm really here to serve them. And together, it's this cultural event that happens, right? Does that kind of sound about right?
Well, yeah. We have this mock archaeological dig, sand pit, some people call it, and it's like where kids go and they dig up the gemstones. It's free or whatever. That was created in like the early 80s. That was created before I was born. And now we're going into the third generation of kids that are experiencing that activity. It has nothing to do with me, those memories and all that time, all of that, that's all community. That's all people contributing to it. We've had the Geological Society has been a part of this for decades, and they have been working it, right? I mean, they deserve the flowers on that. There's nothing to do with, I'm just making sure that the sand is delivered. I think this whole thing is really like the sum of a lot of people's dedication and time. And so, I don't think that, it has a whole lot to do with me other than the fact that, somebody's got to have all of those, keep tabs on all of those things, right? Somebody's going to make sure that it's all going to happen in a manner that's not going to be difficult for the volunteers to manage, right? That it all works in its
the experience,
right?
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to it. It's like I say, spinning plates. It really does look like that. It's not magic.
Well, I like this concept. Especially I tell my team, there's it's a humbling place to be. It can be scary and exciting, but as an organization, we're past the point to where my organization is bigger than me, right?
Oh yeah.
And so that's humbling, and it's scary at times, right? But you kind of have to have that role as a leader of the company. Is hey, this is not it's just bigger than I am.
Yeah.
What if Josh? I don't wish you any ill will, but if you couldn't go to work tomorrow, obviously still going, right?
Mostly, yes. On the things that I've, been able to do a better job with on that. Some things I'm hoarding and, just don't want to let go. But
I get that. I have little pet things like that. You know?
It's hard.
When it comes to the music lineup, that's just my thing.
That's still the heartbeat of the Revel, right?
That's my thing.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that last time too. Is you're I'm finding out it's not really the best musical acts that's going to draw people.
Yeah, that's what they know.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Yeah,
I learned that lesson this year and really over the last couple of years. And I think that it's comforting to know that because it does provide a solid way forward. There's a lot of uncertainty in business right now. In general, the people's mindset or their opinion of the economy is almost more important than the actual diagnosis of the economy, right? And so it just seems like we're stuck in this perpetual loop of uncertainty when it may not be necessarily that uncertain, but the fact that people feel that way is a strain on the way they spend. And so, when I look at our business as a whole across the industry, it is very hard to do what we do. And you can see that in that there are other festivals, across the country that are taking years off or, they're closing their doors. They find a hard time competing. The cost of doing business is from especially just the standpoint of the fees for the music or the insurance or security is skyrocketed, and you can't just follow ticket sales and sponsorship and beer sales and everything else. You can't scale that the same way that it's scaled for the promoter. So you have to adjust your arithmetic on how you put it together. So for us, looking at who we are and what we want to accomplish, I think it's really comforting to know that the people here seem to be very excited about, a version of the Revel that really is inward looking, that looks at Northwest Louisiana, East Texas, the Arklatex as a whole as its source for its entertainment, and that we can just really look at that and make that the center focus. And that's not just good enough, it's actually great for people here. They're like, we like this, you know? And so, I think when I look at like other commercial festivals out there, we're never going to be that. We're not going to charge $135 a ticket or $250 or whatever that is. Like, that's just not who we are. And so as a community event, I think it needs to be more about our community, and that is a viable business strategy moving forward.
This episode is sponsored by Clint Davis Counseling, helping people make lasting internal change for external growth and success. They provide professional counseling, education, and resources to the community of Shreveport, Bossier City. They have 3 locations, one in Shreveport, one in Bossier, and one in Benton. So go to ClintDavisCounseling.com or give them a call, 318-562-6903.
Yeah. Is there like a chicken and the egg problem with that, in terms of with your tickets being lower, your ability to go out and pay like marquee artists? Do you see what I'm saying? Does that create an issue for you, or what do you think?
I mean, when you have 65 to 70 people on the bill, you don't have to stack the whole thing, right? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like most people are just looking at the very top names. And then they get it. And then those who are really interested in, they're very curious in general about music lineups, or they love music. They're seekers of live music. They're going to be the ones that are going to be reading every line, right? And every person that's in there. And so we have to appeal to both. I think that was the strategy for this year, and that we did at the top end focus on some larger things, and we've kind of shifted that way in the last couple of years. But finding value. Sometimes it may not make sense. Like, I love to be able to have like the up and coming band from Lafayette, pay them like $3,000 or $4,000, whatever it's worth, to get them here to go on the mid card. But that just may not. I mean, I can't do that like 8 or 9 times in a row. It adds up pretty quickly, right? Yeah. And so, and then just the same, like, we have plenty of talent here, right? And I think there's a lot of familiarity there. People in our region are not really interested, for the most part, in presenting version of the Red River Revel, which means, because we tried it before, it just didn't work, where we're going out and we're finding talent that's releasing new music at the time, right? And the idea behind that is, because has happened before, is that you've got, these artists that maybe you could get somebody and book them in February, and by the time you get to September or October, they're huge, and then we have a windfall. That's not a strategy for success. That's gambling, right? I mean, you don't know it always. Nobody knows how that's going to go.
Or this idea of, 4 years ago he's playing at the Revel, now look at him. But like, that doesn't do you any good at the moment, right?
Exactly. No, exactly. And I think that that's cool to say, but you could just overspend yourself for what? So we got to say something cool, and I think that is. It's also not really necessarily in today's climate as viable as it once was. I mean, the artists that we were getting in 2000, are right now, they're 6 or 7 times more expensive than they were then, or an artist of the same caliber, like somebody who might be charting a couple of songs on country music radio. Like, there's not any that we can afford. It's like, it's more than our whole budget. Right. Yeah. And so the way that industry has scaled towards the concert high ticket revenue to make up for the loss in album sales and everything else, it makes it so it's impossible for us to do what we were doing then. So we have to do something different now, right? And that's okay. I mean, I think that there's still a lot more that's there. To me, the magic of the Revel is not even really necessarily built up in the music. I know we focus on that a lot, but this is the first year, I think, we can say definitively that, millennials have finally become the target demographic for the Revel, right? I mean, we're at a point where Gen X doesn't have any kids left in school or close to it, right? And so, the Revel's bread and butter has always been, middle-aged, middle-income people with school-age children. That's our sauce, right? I mean, there are people who are looking for a value experience, who have kids that they want to see have a good time, but maybe there's some sneaky educational aspect that's like baked into it, right? And you can also drink a beer and it's safe. Like all those things in one pie is like what makes an attractive event for our region. And that's what we have done for a long time. And so I think that it's interesting to look at, the different eras of it, right? Where we may not necessarily have to impress people like that, and we can just be more focused on the homegrown talent in our region, and maybe some nostalgia too, because we love that. We love the nostalgia, and I think that's so basically it makes it easier, right? Because I'm just booking the festival for myself.
What? So last year you were moving to a new format.
Yeah.
How did that turn out?
It was
you
great.
did the 2 weekends and not during the middle of the week.
Best thing ever. I mean, we were able to adjust halfway through, and sometimes
have a break.
Business owners would love to have this opportunity that we had, right? Where you can go to market with something and then time out and everybody lets you take a break and you adjust it. Like maybe you adjust how you offer your service or whatever your product is, and then you release it again, and that's what we were able to do. We were able to have some time in between to reset, fix some issues, adjust somewhere say t-shirt security was located, or some access control things we needed to adjust that we just couldn't do when we're constantly open every day. And then also, just for people's attitudes, we got a lot of volunteers having a break.
So the format was what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did that twice.
And then break, and then
and this year, I hate this. This year we had to move the festival back a week. And unfortunately there are some things out of control. The school schedules have adopted in more recent years this fall break that is new. We didn't have that when we were kids. It was just Columbus Day, and then they turned it into a fall break holiday, and then it turned into a week-long holiday, and it just keeps getting earlier every year. So it's intruded on our space, and we have to be open in between the 2 weekends with school in, because we have the field trips where we have 6,000 kids come down, right? So that's part of our mission. It's a part of our grant funding. So if they're going to go on break at the beginning of October, then we have to either go one way or the other, right? And Labor Day is super late this year. If we move forward, we're going to have 17 or 18 days to set the Revel up. It's just not enough time, And so we had to push it back, which the unfortunate part on that backside is I'm looking at what else is going on. We're going to be on top of Prize Fest. We're going to be on top of Big Easel and Lafayette. And then the next weekend is the Festival of KDN, and there's ACL, and there's the Barbecue and Blues Festival in New Orleans. And there's all this stuff that may not make a lot of difference to the people that live here, but for the artists, for the musicians, all the programming that we do, it creates volunteers, it creates a struggle that's there. So unfortunately, that's what we had to do. It's a little bit later than normal. So maybe I'm just hoping for good weather,
Well, listen, we're making a sacrifice as a family and flying back from Disney a day early, to be able to see Tyler Reed and American Trash.
There we go.
Yeah. Excited.
So
very excited.
We're canceling a Disney day.
Yes.
For this
That's what
event.
I'm talking about. Look, that's the stuff my dreams are made of, man.
Here's one thing I can guarantee you, okay? You're going to spend a lot less money.
That's very true. At the Revel, you definitely will.
You're going to spend a lot less money. Listen, first off, thank you for the invite to play. We're very excited. We have practice this weekend. Here's what I'm wondering. Is there a clause in the contract that says, if I go down with a heart attack or some major medical thing that you can give us another shot next year if something happens?
I think if you did a stage dive, you definitely get an invite back.
Okay,
without question.
Did you put like a masseuse in your rider or anything?
Gosh,
you
man,
know, get you oxygen tanks.
I'm so nervous.
We have
nervous.
2 RVs, and
okay.
I'm sure that Trey's going to have one all for himself.
That's right.
So I don't know if we'll have the second one available for Tyler Reed.
Unbelievable. And look, I'm so excited. Look, as we're talking a little inside baseball now, but I'm so excited to see Tragedy with the Symphony. Because what I hear about this, and first off, dear listener, the American Tragedy, probably the biggest band in the early 2000s in the Shreveport Bossier scene. They would come and play shows, and they were very gracious to us and some great friends to this day, but they would play shows downtown, and there'd be like 700 kids that would show up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was insane how many people would come to these shows, right?
You just don't see that. You don't ever see that.
I know.
And I remember we opened for them once a long time, like 2005 or 6 at the Cinco de Mayo at Cactus Jack's in Ruston. And like they'd have like 1,100 people show up to, or Edge of Madness in Calhoun, in the middle of nowhere, you know, and it would be like 700 people would show up, and like nobody draws like that.
Yeah.
That's just an unheard of thing. They were one of a kind.
This episode is sponsored by Ivy's Building Materials with 3 locations in Halton, Blanchard, and Mansfield. We are your locally owned home center. We have hardware, building materials, anything you need to build a house, to fix a toilet, to paint a room. Come see us at Ivy's Building Materials and see the service that we are known for. IvyLumber.com. I came home from college one year, maybe my freshman year, and my friend told me, he said, "Hey man, look, we got to go see this band." I'm like, well, "What are you talking about?" You know, I had no clue. And he took us out. I think it was Calhoun or something, like, you know, or Taylortown. And so we walked into Taylortown, and I guess at this point, like 99X was maybe playing a song pretty early, you know, and they were doing like the Farm Club TV show thing. And I walked in, and the place was packed. And all I can remember, you know, because you couldn't really hear anything, but I could this drummer was going out of his mind. I remember honestly going home that night and telling my brother, who's a drummer, "You won't believe what this guy does. Like, he's breaking stuff. He's spitting everywhere.
He's probably going to hurt himself.
He's like throwing his drum kit while he's playing." And I just never seen anything like that before. And I remember telling my brother, I was like, "Dude, you got to go see this guy. He's going to blow your mind." And that was the first time we ever saw him. And thankfully developed a relationship with him. They took us out of town for the first time ever. So the first time we ever played out of town, we went with them. And so that kind of started a long relationship with them. But
with your mom.
Well, no, she didn't go, but she told Jackie, he's like, "Jackie, you got to watch these kids." And he's always like, "I remember, brother, when your mom came to me, said you gotta watch my boys."
This Jordy was still like in high school.
He was like 14 years old. And he's like, "I remember your mom, brother." And
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good impression.
Yeah, and so like, I'm so excited to see them play with the symphony, because from what I understand, here's the truth, right? When you're our age, and Trey lives way out of state, we have a band member that lives out of state.
Yeah.
You only get a couple practices, like 2, maybe.
Right. Yep.
And so, number one, it's hard enough for the band to play, correct?
Yeah.
To add the symphony to it is just, it's making, I'm so nervous for them.
You know how Trey is. He's definitely nervous. But I mean, look, they have, we're very fortunate. We got some grant funding from the Community Foundation, and this was something that it was just serendipity. It was always meant to happen. And it wasn't necessarily the plan going into 2026, but it emerged very quickly as like the best idea that nobody had until the right moment. And you know, we went out and we got somebody to compose all these parts. So like, this is fresh. This is new. This is like, there's a composer that has created all of the charts for the symphony to go original music, new original music, really, if you look at it that way, for their set. So they planned their entire set early, and Adam has been working with this composer. Actually, just turned out that he lives like a mile away from, like a bike ride away.
Wow.
You know? And so in Baton Rouge. So yeah, so they're writing all this stuff, and then they're able to take the parts and, you know, just put them in MIDI and meld them with the recordings. And so I've heard one. It's insane. It's so good. It's so good. And you know, their music, I mean, if you're familiar with it, it it lends itself really well
to
the symphony. And I think thematically, there's just a lot to work with there. And the composer was super excited to do an original project and not just like another rehash of 90s songs and stuff like that. That's really popular. It is popular right now, but he'd done it so many times that he was like, it's the original band. This is going to be fun. And I think it'll be really, really special. And what I hope to see is like, just the biggest homecoming in recent memory for so many people, and we know that there's a lot of people that are planning on coming back for it.
So, will it be the full symphony? Like
it's not quite the full symphony, but it's also not the salon version.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like 42 members as opposed to 65. The salon's like 35. So
42.
Yeah, we have to get a bigger stage. Yeah,
I was thinking that on the stage. I'm like, where are they all going?
So like, this is how people are. I start right now for next year's Revel. We begin planning like the big picture concept. So last year during the festival, we're working with Paxton and them to make plans. We've got, okay, guys, we need to like hang permanent points, and this is it. It's all part of how it's made, but like we're going to hang permanent points in the pavilions there so that we can fly the speakers, so that we can then get a wider stage, because we're going to have the symphony next year with somebody. And that's been part of the plan for a long time. And so, it just takes that time. Yeah. That's really where I think I actually have effect or control over what happens is like backing things up into that amount of detail. And planning that far out in advance. But it's going to be fun.
Well, I was at the Holodecks Symphony show.
Yeah, it was awesome. So good. It was so good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you know what it's going to be like, it's very similar to that, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
and I think, from what I've heard, they fit the parts in so well. And of course, I'm sure that they're going to adjust maybe some of the songs a little bit. It won't be like, perfect to recording. But fortunately, they have, a lot of board recordings and stuff like that. So they have lots of material to draw upon for them.
You put that much into that type of event. Obviously, this isn't going to happen. It's kind of like the UFC on the White House lawn. It's like, this ain't going to happen again, probably, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you want to, capture it. So, is it like a thing? Like, are we trying to live record it or have
video? They got some video guys coming out.
I think it's video and audio recording will be happening there for that. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. We had already had people reaching out saying, hey, can we do this pro bono? There's just interest in it because, like I said, nostalgia is part of it.
Yeah.
But then also there's a little bit, it's more than just having them play at the Revel. And what was crazy, I made this video. I can't share it on social media. I hate that because, all the music is licensed. But I made this video for our reveal party where we showed our sponsors a little bit about the music lineup. And it's so cool because I have footage from the last time that they played the Revel, which was October the 11th in 2006. And this year they're playing on October the 10th, 2026. So it's 20 years minus a day.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The last time that they played. And I was able to take that original thing and then meld it into, the current. And it was really cool. The video is awesome. I'll show it to you later. But
I'd love to see
really
it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, come on back, man. It's going to be much better than a day at Disney.
Yeah, it'll be cheaper.
Much better.
Do you think my kids will be as interested?
Absolutely not. But you know what? Something may spark.
I'll probably just leave them at home.
Bring them out. They'll be play in the sand.
Yeah,
they're good.
And that's another thing too is that that weekend, because the kids are out of school. We were like, well, we're going to have to open the kids area during the day. We never do that because they're always at school, right? But this because we're opening in the middle of fall break. We're like, let's go, giddy up. We're going to be open from 11 to 8 for 4 days.
They're shopping at Brookshires.
Yeah. Oh man, that mini grocery store is going to be wrecked the first weekend. Because 4 days of 11 to 8. I don't think we've ever done that many days consecutive.
So that changes your day programming too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. We could just like that. This is the thing is you can get stuck into this cycle of, well, we do it this way because this is the way we do it, or we've always done it this way, or this is the way that works. But sometimes you have to ask your question, well, does it really work, or why, or because at the end of the day, this is our canvas, and every year it's blank. We dream it, we build it, we make it, create it from nothing, right? So if we need to adjust it. who has the agency but us, right? I mean, so we think about it in terms like those terms. And I also just know how the people around here think that nobody's going to like look up our website to see if the children's area is open at 11 a.m. on opening day. The kids are out of school. They're going to expect it to be open and just show up. So.
I think it's funny. I was just looking back to Luke Lee at Fusiform Design. I don't know if you know him, but we had him a few weeks ago. And one of the things that he was talking about was how real life experiences are, in many ways, there's becoming a premium on the real life experiences, because so much of our life is lived now through social media or, by proxy. Mm-hmm. But the idea that his belief is that, real life experiences are going to become more and more valuable in a way. And I think that when you just said blank canvas and made me think about that, of going, hey man, if I'm in your shoes, I'm probably kind of thinking like Luke, of going, we're going to curate this thing that is visually very, very interesting, is exciting. It's real life. It's real community. We have something very special. And the idea of we've always done it this way versus, hey man, let's try something. Let's go bold. Let's go big. Let's really see what we can do. I think you're in a very special place right now with this product of being the Revel, right? Because again, we're just doing stuff on our phone, but that is no substitute for actually going to Disney, right? Or for actually being in the thing.
This episode is sponsored by Plumber for Hire, locally owned plumbing company specializing in residential and commercial plumbing. They've recently expanded into new construction plumbing, and also, they're very proud of starting their HVAC division. So when the temperature gets hot, if you need any servicing or work done on your heating and cooling system, make sure to call Plumber for Hire. There's no job too big or too small for them. You'll see their vans driving around town, giving them a wave. They really pride themselves in getting to every job within a day of the call coming in. So get in touch with them, 318-709-9090, or visit their website, plumberforhiresbc.com, or you can find them on social media.
It sounds like Luke's been reading from the Gospel of Revel, book 3, because that's really the sauce. I mean, that's what we are. I mean, and I talk about this. Anytime I get an opportunity to do those, like the Rotary events or whatever, like this is essentially what the case that I try to make is that, without saying the words, social media is not real. Like none of that's real, right? And so but we get so wrapped up in and angry and just tense over all this stuff that's just words on a screen by people who are putting on a front. They would never say that stuff in person, right? And so ultimately, what we try to accomplish is a tradition of people coming together to break bread with one another and realize that the things that separate us are really don't put that much distance between us, and that we're all actually really pretty close together. And community can begin to move forward when it decides that it is a part of the same existence, right? So like when you have everybody, on their little tribal sides fighting in the comments on the news stations, Facebook feeds, that's not serving the purpose of the greater good of the community. Its only intent is to divide and create more engagement, right? But that doesn't serve us here, right? What serves us here is, sitting across the table from somebody that you don't know and getting to know them. It is the experience of being in person and experiencing things in person. And I think that the longer we've gone with this experiment of digital media, the more people have become craving those real, authentic experiences. And I think you can just look at what we're looking for, let's say in our role models that we follow, the people that are the influencers or our politicians, that the number one metric that everybody's looking for is authenticity or some sense of it, right? Mm-hmm. But we have that here. Like we have the essence of it right now across this table. And also, in things like the Red River Revel, where you have to be there in person to experience it. And I long for those days when I read about the history and the past and the things that people created, the cooking demos and all that other stuff. Like it fills me with this sense of like almost sad longing for a time when participating in community demanded that you were in person and be present, right? That you couldn't participate from the sidelines. And that unfortunately has made, I think, the biggest challenge that we all have in at least in my industry for sure, is people who are soft participating, right? They're like, yeah, I love the Revel, I support it. And all that really means is that they follow us on Facebook and like some of our posts, right? It doesn't mean that they come down and they eat a funnel cake. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that they bring their kids when it's free to experience all the activities or volunteer even, like that. There's so many ways to engage, but yet we have made things so optimized and so easy for people to engage with them that they just feel like they're participating when they're really adding no value, right?
Yeah. So I'm friends with this person. I click like on their photo. We're friends, right. We're really good friends. So I wanted to ask you about that because this dovetails really nicely with this. Look, from a big picture engagement standpoint, social media, headline media, whatever you want to say, there's certain bullet points that people would get about Shreveport Bossier living all across the country, right? We know what those bullet points would be. Yeah. Probably not the most flattering.
Sure.
In light of that, what does the Revel, particularly 50 years of the Revel, what does that mean to Shreveport Bossier?
Well, I mean, look, this is one of the few things that what we hope is that when you think about our community, these are one of the things that you would think about, right? Now, obviously there are some things that people would say right off the bat that are negative. So we're the counterweight to that. I would think that, you could put a couple other things in that category that are positive, like event-based type things, like Independence Bowl is one for me, at least, that put Shreveport and Bossier City on the map. It is one of those things that, somebody may never been here, but their only recall is that was a place they had that snow game like in 2000, right? The bowl game, right? I mean, there's value there. There's a lot of value there. And so it puts us on the map in ways that other communities our size don't have. And the Revel is one of them. I would say the way we do Mardi Gras is another, like our version of it, are things that we sort of shaped in our own image, right? And we've created them and they're ours. We own them as a community, right? And so that means that as a cultural standard bearer or whatever it is, it's what you would hope that people would think about. It's what you would hope that they would find pride in the community. So I found really quickly that when things are good with us, people tend to have a little bit more favorable viewpoint of their community. And when they're not good, the opposite can be true, exponentially so. And so there's a responsibility there for us to provide for expectations that are really high. But I think that it means a lot because, again, people feel ownership over it. The original very beginning of this started with an idea, strangely enough, by Richard Nixon, who in 72 or 73 realized that when he was going to be up for re-election, that was the 200th anniversary of our country's founding. We should have a bunch of celebrations. The bicentennial will make it all big, 1976, 1776. And I'll make everybody love America and it'll help my campaign, right? That was his idea. He didn't make it that far. But what happened in the process of that was that the states and eventually the communities created these commissions. And there was one for Shreveport. We were selected as one of the first cities to actually participate in the celebration, create a bunch of things that help celebrate the bicentennial. And the Arts and Culture Committee there was run by two women that created the idea. And they gathered pretty much the laundry list of people in the community that had wealth and opportunity to help. And it was mostly women. I mean, almost exclusively women. There was a couple of men. Bill Fountain was one, and some others that helped bring the city in line with that. And they asked the junior league to come in and help staff it. And so this wasn't something that some corporate or business person did for their own interest. There was never a financial aspect to it. It was all about the gift. And that was the whole purpose of the mission statement since the very beginning, has been that it is a gift to the citizens of the region. And so because the community created it, that means the community owns it. And so it does matter extremely. I think it's extremely important to people because of that, because they feel that ownership over it. So that's why, we also have to take a lot of opinions, because people feel that ownership that's over it. And so to provide the opportunity for artists to perform and get paid, or to create visual art and sell it, to educate kids, in the potential of the arts and what kind of future that may bring for them, whether it is a full career or partial or hobby or anything else, to show young people, the variety of and capability of human expression and creativity. I mean, those are the things that sort of drive the bus for us, and I think that they're essential to a happy and healthy community, So I wouldn't say that we can make people feel like all the time like Shreveport's a better place, but for like maybe 2 weekends, we can at least hope that maybe they say, it's not so bad here.
Yeah.
Just throw out this crazy idea, and we don't have to dwell on it, but let's do a no phone night. Lock them up, baby. Lock them up.
You might have a riot.
Lock them up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you, when I went, I've been to a few events, I think Jack White and some others, where they made us lock up the phones, and it is crazy. It's just wild. Because you're in there, you're looking like nobody's looking down.
Your hands are twitching, and you're like,
Well, there's only one way to look, is at the stage
or at somebody. I have to talk to someone.
I mean, the Jack White one was interesting because I felt like, and I saw him twice, the first time and the second time, right, that he came to Municipal.
Yeah.
And I thought both times that was a policy the first time, and then they had the bags the second time. Yeah. And I thought that those were probably the most social concerts I've ever been to.
Well, it is funny because me and my wife walk in, and I was like, "Oh, so how are you doing? How do we talk?"
It's so crazy.
But everybody is there too. That's right. That was.
You see people. Yeah, you think of that as how many people you recognize because you're looking around the room. Is that at your phone, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, somebody checked in. They're here.
Yeah. I mean, that's we want people to obviously engage with us. And post about their experience on social media. I like last year. I think that the defining image was I'm at the Revel and I have a superior margarita. That was saw it over.
And I need a ride home.
Yeah, saw it over and over again.
Yeah,
and it was everywhere. We want that, but we also want people to engage with one another, and that part of it is just so much fun to watch, to see friends getting ice cream together, just sitting in the Meet Me area, having a good time, and to have people like Brady come home and have his teachers come and watch his performance and rib him about how bad of a student he was, and all those things.
This episode is sponsored by Priority Roofing, locally owned, family-ran business specializing in residential and commercial roofing, repairs, replacements. No job is too small. They've helped thousands of homeowners in the Shreveport-Bossier area over the past several years. Call the office, 318-202-2123, or visit their website, PriorityRoofingLLC.com. Run into employees you fired. It's all real exciting stuff.
Then I ran into Malik, the guy that runs a gas station down the street from my house. He gasses me up like nobody else, right? I run into Malik. I have to take a picture. I'm like, this is my guy. I see him every day. He brought his kids, and they had a great time. I mean, that's, man, you don't even have to explain it. That's just the good stuff.
I haven't taught school since 2012, and I still go to an event like that. And they're like, Mr. Allen. I'm like, oh gosh. Or they're like, I know you from somewhere. I was like, did you go to this school? They're like, oh yeah. Mr. Allen.
No, I think it's really well said because, again, with we just call it the narrative or whatever, but the idea where truly the community comes together in one space, just to celebrate, to break bread, like you said, to experience great art, have fun. Man, I don't know. That just, the older you get, maybe it's just like an old man thing, but it's that seems just so precious for an area.
Well, and there's some nostalgia because it's not over commercialized, right?
Right.
So you think of events of we're big into baseball. Yeah. But when we went and played baseball, it was just very raw and authentic. Now you go to a tournament, it's commercialized. They have, it's just wild.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
That topic. That's the biggest competitor that we have is youth sports. You know, but I mean, it wasn't like that when we were kids. We played baseball. You know, we just go out and have fun. And, there was always this crazy parents. You know, but like that's always been a part of it. But now they got like little corporations around every team. You know, you got like the CEO of Snacks and like the CFO
it's kind of like
the Trip and uniforms person, and like they like create these little like organizations around it, and it's just nuts. I mean, I get it. I understand why, but it's like, it just seems, you know, like it has taken a lot of the focus of our parents away from the other community that their peers are involved in. Right. And they're really focused on these insular, smaller communities of the youth sports. And, you know, I mean, I was bad at baseball, so I don't have very fond memories of playing baseball, but I just think that it is a very different aspect today, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, hey, we also had to shout out Shayliff. Shay, an alum.
Right.
He's playing on the 9th, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so he's a 3-timer here. 2-timer?
2-timer?
Yeah.
He's been on
2-timer.
twice.
Okay. Yeah. So fellow 2-timer, Shayliff is coming on.
But yeah, his band's playing the Revel.
That's right. Excited.
We get a lot of like, you know, nostalgia in there because, you know, they're playing with Justin Shipley's band, Open Eyes, is getting back together. And of course, not Shipley. That's the guy from Ruston.
Simple Church.
Simple Church guy. Yeah. So they're going to get back together and play.
Yeah, Open Eyes. Yeah.
And then
I remember them.
Of course, you know, Seed just got back together. They're going to play at the festival this year. So, you know, I mean, I think that what we kind of focused on like 1996 to 2011. Like that's really, you know, it's the best music.
It's fun.
Right?
It's fun. It's some fun times.
It's our stuff, right?
Yeah. And you know, and two, I don't even know about the bands today. Like, I would be shocked. We talked about Tragedy and their incredible draw. Like, if you told me a band today from Shreveport could draw 1,000 people to see them play, I wouldn't even believe it. Right now, they may get millions of views online, but do local bands have that kind of draw anymore? Does it really work like that?
No, it doesn't work like that at all. It's not. They're not made that way.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think there's some guys in the band, All Them Witches, that are from Shreveport, right? And nobody even knows who they are.
Yeah.
Like they didn't play in the scene here. Like they never played here. Right. And so like, I mean, it's crazy, but that's just not how the bands are really made. I mean, you can do it like that, but I just don't think that unless you have, you know, I would say a network of cities, because you can't just do it in one. You know, there has to be like sort of a web of places that you can go around and build some followings, and then from there, that's your base. You follow, you go out from there. Because ultimately, what I've been told, you know, by a lot of these agents is that they're like, you know, they don't really pick people anymore. You have to make your own following, and then you can actually.
That's the thing
get
too,
something,
right? Is they have millions of followers and never like played a show.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I mean,
crazy.
It's the thing was, this used to be the thing. It was like, hey man, get in the van, go play for people. And if it's 3 people, play for 3 people. And the next time you come back, you hope it's 6. Right. And the next time you come back, you hope it's 12. Right. And it's like that was the playbook. And I think that the bands from this era that you're talking about all kind of lived in that playbook. And I think people did come to see them play, right? And so maybe that's some of the benefit of that era versus today's musicians. Not taking anything away from them, because they're just they have different incentives, right? They don't have the incentive to do that.
Well, yeah, and if you can monetize your online presence, you know, then what's the point? If you can monetize it without spending money on travel,
never leaving your house,
you know, like
right?
I might as well just do that.
This summer, I went to 2 big shows, but this leads into that. So I saw Tyler Childers at Wrigley Field. Wow. But he commented and he said, I was actually played an open mic here in like 2015 at Potbelly's. And then he looks at the crowd. He's like, I didn't see any of you there.
That's
you know?
Exactly right.
But isn't that crazy that he went from that to that? Then we saw Noah Khan at Ranger Stadium. And he said in 2018, he had to cancel his show in Dallas because they didn't have ticket sales.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Now he's playing in front of 30,000 people in Ranger Stadium.
Wild.
But I mean, this is what I think is the canary in a coal mine for all of it, is that the industry itself has backed itself into this corner where, you know, we're going to make everything so expensive. We're even nostalgia bands who have not done anything in the last 5 years. I'm not going to name any names, but we had one my first year that was $25,000 and now they're 40, right? And they haven't done anything. There's no like Yellowstone track they got, that like made everybody fall in love with that band all over again. And now they're just, they have gotten to the point where the industry itself is wanting so much out of it. And so it's forced the ticket prices up so high, and it makes people decide they're choosing for the most part to go all in on like one artist experience, right? And then that just slices the pie up into a couple of chunks, right? And it doesn't leave enough left over for the independent artists or the independent venues. And that's where, you just see that the whole thing is a castle made on sand, right? Because if you get to a point where you can't support newer music any other way than the internet, then it's all just one hit wonder. There's no longevity. There's no, fan base that's built over the long term because you can't ever go see that person live, and then live performance becomes like not even necessary anymore. And that's a dystopian future. We don't need that, like we need to support the local and the live. And so, I think that I love what Jackie's doing with this new venue. He's got, he's trying, and I know that they're, the guys at Hurricane Alley are, they're supporting local bands. There is a push amongst 18 and under towards like the nostalgia of our age, and maybe it's just because they're our kids, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.
They like cool bands.
That's right. I see a lot of that.
Carter once a week, he's like, "Man, y'all are so lucky having this music growing up."
Well, but you know what? They're creating new music, and that's right. It may not have to be necessarily the same thing, but I saw a new metal band the other day, and I was like, "This is a thing! Like these kids are playing new metal," and I was like,
Jinko's on,
right? And so, but I think that we're doing this year. We're doing an 18 and under micro festival, and there's a call out right now. It's free to apply for bands that are 2/3 of their members or more, or 18 and under.
I saw that,
and they're going to get paid. We're going to put together on one stage, one whole day, a festival of as many young people as we possibly can, with the backline on the DMZ stage, and just hit it really hard and have as many of them as we can to do. And we did it last year, and it was awesome. I remember I was going back and forth between the drum thing that we had like John and Brady and all them up on one stage, and then we were doing the kids, and I walked down there and I heard this song and I was like, there's no way. And I'm around the corner and I'm like, these kids are literally, they're playing Turnstile right now and they're killing it. It was awesome. It was just as good as I'm like, they're like 14 and 15 years old, and I'm just going, this is the thing that my dreams are made of right here. It felt like it wasn't even real, and so we got to push that, support it. And hopefully, our kids are going to save it, I guess, That's what I hope for.
I think there's a lot there. I do see a lot of kids picking up guitars. I do see a lot of kids that are, I guess, to your point of like parents are in bands or parents love bands, and I see these kids playing and I'm like, man, that's awesome. That is so cool that they are picking up a guitar, getting together with their friends, making up songs and playing them. It's like, that's one of the coolest things you can see, because, and then they're having their friends respond to it and say, man, that was great. I love to see.
Seems off too familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. But but I remember I do remember a time in the sort of 2010s or whatever, when at this point I was working in a restaurant, so I was pretty close to younger people. Mm-hmm. And I remember them kind of going going to see a band was just this, it wasn't a good idea. Like they were like, maybe there's like an EDM thing going or whatever, but it's just like going to see a band just didn't, it was like that's kind of lame. Yeah. And I remember that it's kind of been that way for a little while.
It was an edgy take to say like guitar-based music is dead. Right?
Yeah.
That was like a thing,
right.
For a long time.
But to see these kids do it, it makes you go, okay, all right, I like this.
This is so coded for us too, because just like every other generation, you think that the one that's like right behind yours is like the worst one. Like everybody, like it's always like the younger one than you is like they have it too easy and they're whatever. And so like this is perfect for us to just like to talk about and build into it. And there may be some truth to it, but I do think that that having the kids of right now that are saying that this is coming, I judge the Caddo Magnets Battle of the Bands. The kids are awesome, right? And seeing like them interact with each other, their peers all showing up for the concert, and they're all into it, and you go like, I think that this is sort of our path towards, more, because you can't do that without doing it in person, right? It's not something that, you can necessarily do, just online. So I think that it's a valuable effort, and we're going to continue to support it. And I hope other people do too. All ages venues are very good for a music scene. So.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay, man, we could talk forever, but I know you're a busy man.
Excited. Yeah, excited about the Revel.
Yeah, I'm so pumped up.
Yeah.
Like I said,
RedRiverRevel.com. There's we're going to put the day-by-day schedule out probably within the next 3 weeks, maybe. We just got to get a couple more of the children's area stuff lined up, and so you can sort of plan out your what you're going to see. It's going to be awesome.
Volunteer.
Yes,
volunteers.
And volunteers is out now. Yeah, so people can go ahead and sign up for shifts, and we I can go ahead and say we got new volunteer shirts this year. You'll like this. They're going to be baseball tees.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Yeah. Okay, little captains.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I like it.
Gotcha.
I like it.
All right. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate what you do.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.